mocked before they ever took off. Before World War II, the U.S. Army Air Corps did not allow black pilots in its cockpits. Civil rights groups and black newspapers pushed back, forcing the government to create a segregated training program at Tuskegee, Alabama in 1941. Many white officers saw it as an experiment designed to fail. While German propaganda claimed Aryan racial superiority, many white Americans still believed black men lacked the discipline and intelligence to fly advanced fighters. Inside the Luftwaffe, the idea of an all-black U.S. fighter squadron sounded like a joke. That joke would not age well. Building the Tuskegee experiment. At Tuskegee Army Airfield, the first squadrons, beginning with the 99th Pursuit Squadron, trained on basic trainers and then P-40 Warhawks. Over the course of the war, around 1,000 pilots earned their wings through the program, though fewer went overseas. Discipline at Tuskegee was strict. Trainees knew that any failure would be used to prove black Americans had no place as combat pilots. Many later recalled the pressure of knowing they were being judged, not just as individuals, but as a test of their entire community. When the 99th deployed to North Africa in 1943, they were still flying older P-40 fighters on ground attack missions. Only later, when the 99th joined the 332nd Fighter Group in Italy, alongside the 100th 301 ST and 302nd Fighter Squadrons, did all the Tuskegee squadrons fight together under one banner. From dusty airfields to red tails operating with the 5th Air Force out of Italian bases like Ramata. The 332nd Fighter Group initially flew P-47 Thunderbolts and P-40SA. In mid-1944, they converted to sleek P-51 Mustangs, fast, long-range escorts, ideal for operations deep into Germany. To distinguish themselves in the crowded skies, they painted the tails of their fighters bright red. Bomber crews started calling them Red Tails, or Red Tail Angels, because of the protection they provided on long missions. The red tails also made them unmistakable to German pilots. At first, some Luftwaffe flyers assumed the brightly painted Mustangs belonged to a second-rate unit, an assumption rooted in racist beliefs about black Americans. They were wrong. Meeting the Luftwaffe in combat as the war shifted in 1944, the red tails moved from mainly ground attack work to high-value bomber escort, flying P5 un segundo with red tails. They accompanied B-17 and B-2 for formations deep into Austria, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, and Germany itself. Their most famous mission came on 24 March 1945. A long round trip from Italy to Berlin to hit the Daimler-Benz tank works. When the relieving escort group failed to appear, the red tails stayed with the bombers all the way to the target and back, tangling with German Me-262 jets and claiming several shot down. The group earned a distinguished unit citation for the mission. By war's end, the Tuskegee Airmen had flown well over 1,000 missions and tens of thousands of sorties, shot down more than 100 enemy aircraft in air-to-air combat, and destroyed or damaged hundreds more on the ground. Those numbers alone would make any fighter group respectable. But what captured bomber crews' attention was something else. Dite really never lo sea bomber. For decades, a popular legend claimed that bombers escorted by the Red Tails were never shot down by enemy fighters. It appeared in wartime magazine stories and was later repeated in films and speeches as proof of their flawless performance. Detailed research into mission records shows a more complicated, but still impressive reality. Bombers under Tuskegee Escort did lose aircraft to enemy fighters, but far fewer than average. Their bomber loss rate was among the lowest of any escort group in the 5th Air Force. So the legend of 0 bombers lost isn't literally true. But the core point stands. The Red Tails were exceptionally effective at their job. Counting the victories across the war, the Tuskegee Airmen were credited with more than 100 enemy aircraft destroyed in the air, well over 100 more destroyed or damaged on the ground, and some of the lowest bomber losses in their theater. Individual pilots like Lee Archer, Wendell Pruitt, Joseph Ellsby, and Harry Stewart Jr. became known for multiple kills and daring missions. Although segregation and post-war bureaucracy often delayed the recognition they deserved, whether the exact total ends up slightly above or below 100, all serious research agrees. The Red Tails more than proved themselves against Germany. SBF 109 segundos, FW 190 segundos, and even me, 262 jets. From Insul to Black Birdmen, as their reputation spread, the tone in German briefings changed. Bomber crews in the 15th Air Force asked for the Red Tails by name. On the other side, Luftwaffe pilots began referring to them as Black Birdmen, a grudging acknowledgement of their skill and persistence in the air. What had started as a racist joke turned into a warning. If you saw a red tail sliding in above the bomber stream, you knew you were in for a hard fight. The real irony is that the Red Tails were fighting two battles at once, one over Europe against the Luftwaffe, and another at home against segregation and discrimination. Winning the war, then fighting for recognition despite their combat record. Tuskegee Airmen returned to a country that still segregated buses, schools, and military units. Many were denied airline jobs or pushed out of aviation entirely. It took decades, a long civil rights struggle, and the work of historians to bring their achievements fully into public view. Eventually, the U.S. government awarded the Tuskegee Airmen a Congressional Gold Medal and formally honored their contribution to victory and to the desegregation of the armed forces. The desegregation of the military became official policy in 1948. Today, when we see a modern training jet painted with red tails in tribute, it's easy to forget how radical the original red tails were. Black pilots in a segregated army flying the best fighters America could build, proving every day that racist assumptions, German or American, had no place in the skies. The German pilots who once laughed at them learned that lesson the hard way.